Moving on to something I'm sure will have less yap. We have the edgy version of Undertale, Underfell. Everyone is red, everyone is evil. Last AU they swapped roles of characters. This time, they swap alignment. The only character who is actually evil in Undertale, Flowey, is now good in Underfell and joins you on your quest in the underground. Oh, and Mad Dummy is not mad, I guess. The creator of this AU is Vic the Underfeller, who still has ownership of the AU, but hasn't done much outside of designs and personalities for the characters, instead giving it to the community to make up their own interpretations for the story for this AU. In one of the interpretations, it is stated that the timeline followed the original Undertale story until a long life in the underground drove the monsters to a kill or be killed mentality. Originally, I assumed the endings would be swapped in a way, like Sans would fight you in Pacifist, Asriel would fight you in Genocide, but apparently those routes don't exist. There's a trust route, which is essentially pacifist, but the monsters begin to have peace with each other too, foregoing their kill or be killed mentality. The closure route, which is the same, but the monsters find closure with each other, whatever that means. And the betrayal route, where Flowey uses the human to kill all the monsters. I suppose this is the version of the genocide route. Frisk is just immune to being evil, I guess. But you know who isn't immune to being evil? Asgore. So, with big prologue changes, Asgore breaks off the beaten path by being the one to poison Kara himself. This leads Asriel to do their plan as usual and Toriel to leave his ass. Bro really said, I'm evil, but I'm not that evil. He also gave Papyrus that scar because he's low-key petty and gave Sans his uncontrollable powers. I don't know how that works, but moving on. Undyne is a very interesting character to me as she's a fellow wrestling fan, let's go. Also updating Alphys since the start of the story, but WrestleMania belt for Papyrus from Alphys, let's go. Like Underswap, the AU has a pretty famous game, if you can call it that. The main one I'm familiar with being GG Underfell, which you may also know from the game Delta Traveler. This Sans is a fucking tweaker, bro, I swear to God. Basically, it's Underfell, but to the max. The monsters being actual monsters and the routes actually being swapped like how I assumed it was in the beginning. Also, GG Sans canonically killed Susie, at least in Delta Traveler she did. I thought that was cool, but moving on.